All right, reconvening the regular meeting. It is 7 o'clock. Item 301, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All righty. Item 302, approval of tonight's agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Second.
I have a motion by Charlotte, seconded by Monica. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Item 401, approval modification of the minutes from our last meeting on February 7th. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Monica and seconded by Jim. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
We have 4 ayes and 1 abstention by Charlotte. Item passes. And item 402, approval modification of minutes from the February 7th executive session. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Monica, seconded by Jim. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Same thing, 4 ayes, 1 abstention by Charlotte. Item 501, approval of the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve tonight's consent agenda.
Second.
I have a motion by Charlotte, seconded by Monica. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 5-0, the motion passes. And I just want to quickly thank John Brusky, Access ASU, Hawkins Design Group, and Read On Arizona for their donations. Moving on to 601, Celebrate Excellence.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board. Tonight I have a few items to celebrate. We are pleased to announce that the Arizona Educational Foundation has named Arredondo Elementary as one of 37 Arizona public schools who have received the coveted A+ School of Excellence Award for the 2023-2024 academic year. The A+ School of Excellence Award is the highest state-level award given to a public school and is often a stepping stone for schools seeking National Blue Ribbon status. Arredondo Elementary will celebrate their A+ status at a school-wide assembly on Friday, March 8th, at 7:50 a.m. Earlier this month, we celebrated our amazing school counselors during the National School Counseling Week, taking place between February 5th through February 9th. Tempe Elementary School District is proud of the dynamic, empathetic, and dedicated team of counselors who provide critical support to students across all of our schools. Let's take a moment to thank these special individuals. And I'm going to give them a clap for the people. After learning codes and ciphers throughout history, PACE students at Rover and Meyer were able to host an escape room activity for their families. An escape room is a game in which a team of players discover clues, solve problems, puzzles, and accomplish tasks in one or more rooms in order to accomplish a specific goal in a limited amount of time. This fun family event allows students to demonstrate their learning, and many were excited to see how engaged their parents were with figuring out the clues. We would also like to take this opportunity to thank our incredible partners who are making donations to TD3, specifically John Broski, Hawkins Design Group, Access ASU, and the City of Tempe and Read On Tempe for their donations totaling more than $27,000 for our students and staff. And that concludes my Celebrate Excellence.
Item 701, open call to the public. We do, in fact, have blue cards, so we can play the video.
Persons wishing to address the board must fill out the Request to Address the Board card and submit it to the board's executive coordinator prior to the start of the board meeting. Per Governing Board Policy BEDH, Public Participation at Board Meetings, the Governing Board President shall set a time limit on the length of the comment period. For items on the agenda, individuals will be called upon when the item is introduced. For topics not on the agenda, citizens will be called upon during this portion of the meeting under Open Call to the Public. In compliance with the open meeting law, The governing board will neither discuss nor take action on items raised during this portion of the agenda. When necessary, issues will be taken under advisement and placed on a subsequent agenda. During the open call to the public, issues addressed must be within the jurisdiction of the board.
I'll remind those that are coming up that they have 3 minutes. First one is a Jessica Farrell, sorry. Jarrell.
Hello, my name is Jessica Jarrell. I am a mother at Meyer Montessori. I am also the treasurer, fundraiser, classroom ambassador on the PTO board, so heavily involved in the school. We are here, and I am here today to talk to you about the elimination of Pat Barton's role as the instructional coach at Meyer Montessori. And these are words I'm going to read. I'll make it short, from a mother who couldn't be here tonight, Keely Bruner, but I felt like she put it very well. I am writing today about Pat Barton, an instructional coach at Meyer Montessori, whose presence has been invaluable among the teachers and students of our school. She was hired with COVID funding, and I understand that the school district is facing many cuts of various kinds due to this funding's ending. However, I want to argue for her retention at Meyer Montessori because she has proven to be an integral part to the unique identity and mission of our school. All the teachers and staff at Meyer are special people, being as they are Montessori trained as well as certified to teach in AZ public schools. This is an important distinction as the only public Montessori school in Tempe District 3. Meyer holds a very special role in our families and in our community. Many of us and our families would otherwise never be able to afford this kind of singular education, and we are profoundly grateful for its place in the school district. Part of what makes the school so inviting is the stellar teachers and staff, and like all educators, they require significant support from parents of the community as well as the district. Another place our teachers are finding the support is from Ms. Pat, who has incredibly robust experience with Montessori and who embodies rare kindness, empathy, and competence. Especially with staffing changes in regards to our principal at Meyer Montessori, Ms. Pat has helped provide continuity and encouragement, as well as invaluable practical assistance in the classroom. She is truly a Jill of all trades who can do whatever is asked of her and to do it well with joyful attitude. She is a wonderful listener, remembers details about teachers and families. She knows everybody's name, even if your child isn't there. It's incredible. Our children are, and then this is Keely Bruner, her children are in 5th grade, 2nd grade, and pre-K. So she's been with the school since it opened. And Ms. Pat has a special place in each of their hearts. Meyer Montessori, simply put, won't be the same without her. She is the glue that holds Meyer Montessori together right now. Of course, I understand the district is facing a budget shortfall and that Meyer is not the only school impacted. However, if Tempe District 3 wants to continue
Thank you. Ashley Donovan.
Oh, I was waiting for the timer, sorry. All right, thank you so much. Hi, yes, good evening. My name is Ashley Donovan. First, I would like to thank the board for taking the time to hear us. I echo all of Jessica and Keely's sentiments. I am a proud Meyer Montessori parent. I have Judy, who's in 1st grade, and Dylan, who is a 3-year-old in preschool. I am the PTO president, and I am super involved. And I love the school. I love that TD3 is so supportive of public Montessori. I think it is something we're going to see more and more of. Jeff Bezos' foundation is funding programs in Mesa and Glendale, so you guys are ahead of the curve, and I want to thank you for that, and I want to see Meyer be successful. And so with that, we would ask that you reconsider and/or reinstate Patricia Barton's position as an instructional coach. We really need stability right now. You know, we've been without a principal since October. Wendy and Kathy are wonderful. They're doing an excellent job. We're so thankful to have them. My understanding is they are now going to be with us indefinitely. So we need that stability, that support that someone like Pat can bring. You know, as Jessica mentioned, she has a wealth of Montessori knowledge. I think she has something like 30 years of Montessori. And so where Kathy and Wendy are really excellent in regards to the administrative side, working with the district, we need someone like Pat who can translate that to Montessori, to the teachers, to the students. And she does. She knows every student's name. She knows all of the parents. It's amazing. So let's see. We would ask that the board support stability in Meyer, especially while Meyer is still a relatively new school, and while we are, our leadership is in flux and in transition. And I think that's it. So thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you. Moving on to 801, discussion, consideration, and possible action concerning proposed school attendance boundary changes. Dr. Driscoll?
Thank you, Mr. President. And so tonight we're coming back. I think they're going to queue up my slides, I think. There we go. So if you recall, on December 6th, we had a governing board meeting where the governing board approved to direct me, the superintendent, to take the next steps. One was revisiting boundaries specific for the purpose of having students attend school closest to their home address. On January 3rd, at that governing board meeting, you authorized me to begin the process of adjusting school boundaries for Aguilar, Connolly, Curry, Frank, Nevitt, Scales, Shamley, Thew, and Wood. Again, policy JC kind of dictates our what we do, and so after that, we literally had a series of forms that came. And so this is, again, our current school, elementary school boundaries. We have families out there from Meyer, so you see Meyer doesn't have a school boundary because it's open. And then we have the current middle school boundaries. And then our proposal was to look at that, those two plots, the orange and blue spot where students go to Scales and Wood. And we proposed that that become Nevitt's new boundary. The students right across the street there is Southern. Their actual geographic home school is Nevitt. They're like less than 0.2 miles, I believe, from Nevitt. We then proposed the boundary right down there in the pink that's circled. That currently goes to Aguilar. Our proposal with that would be Frank's new boundary. Some of the students in those boxes, actually Frank is their backyard. And then here, the light blue we circled, that currently goes to Curry, and our proposed that would go to Thew. And also the students in that box, some of those students I believe go to Shamley for middle school. And so what we're proposing is that would go to Connolly, that box. On January 30th, January 31st, and February 1st, we had public meetings at each one of those schools, Nevitt, Frank, and Thew. We fielded questions. I would tell you the Nevitt one, it was crickets. Frank, we had a little bit more participation, and at Thew we had probably the most. Most of the questions that we got were really pertaining to, if I want my kid to stay at the school that they're currently at, would they have to leave? And we answered that yes, they can stay at the schools that they're currently at. The only thing we couldn't guarantee would be transportation. The only area that we talked about providing transportation was in that Thew quadrant, that students that go to Shamley for middle school, because we had students that have been there, could have been at Shamley from kindergarten, and we didn't think it was prudent for us to move them out. So that was the only one that we said that yes, we would like to provide transportation to for that following year. We provided you guys with the comments, so we opened up from January 3rd to February 6th. comments that parents could either email, call. I would tell you a lot of those that did reach out to us when we told them that no, their kid could actually stay at their current school. That was one of the biggest concerns, is that they would have to leave the school. And with us being an open enrollment district, all our families can stay at the school of attendance that they wanted to. So with that, I will answer any questions that you might have about this, and I have people in the audience too that can answer some questions for me too, if I don't know the answer.
Jim?
Thank you, Mr. President. I guess when we're talking about the start of this, a lot of the boundaries that we made probably a decade ago were based on balancing certain populations to these schools. And of course, the population centers have changed as well as the demographics. And I think our question was, what about the desegregation agreement that we have and the money that we do and where we're going to spend it?
So yes, that question came up. I want to say it was by Board Member Windsor as well. And so we looked at our desegregation agreement, and this wouldn't violate that desegregation agreement. The funds that we get for desegregation are through multiple sources. Some of it goes in transportation, some of it goes into employees, but we would still be in compliance with our agreement with desegregation by switching those boundaries. Plus, with the with schools being open enrollment, that kind of has eliminated a lot of that because any student in our district can choose to go to any school within our district, as well as they have space. And with new state law, we actually have to post on our website the openings that we have in grade levels at each one of our schools. So even that transparency, parents can know at a school they're applying whether we have capacity to accept those students. So in talking with legal, we would be in compliance with those changes.
Thank you.
Monica?
Thank you, Mr. President. Dr. Driscoll, thank you for presenting this, and you've already answered, I think, a lot of our questions over the last couple months, but I just wanted to ask, the last time these boundaries were done, I thought it was 20 years ago.
Dating back to, I want to say 2003 was the one, and then when we closed Evans in 2009, and then 2011 were the last time school boundaries, and I want to say Meyer being one of them. And then when we reopened McCamey Academy and Meyer Montessori, boundaries were changed. So at least 10 plus years. And part of that is when last time we closed schools, we really redid boundaries. So yes. So I think it's more like 10 plus years. With 2011 being the date in my mind, I think is the last time we addressed boundaries. And I'm looking at some of my historians in the audience. Does that sound about right? Okay, yes.
I think it might be in our best interest. I don't know that any of us will be here, and I won't be here in 10 years, but whoever is here in 10 years to possibly do that again. Jim will be here. But to have that maybe after every census or once we get to census data, just is probably good practice to do that anyway.
Yeah, I would echo that, especially after the demographer report, because our boundaries, and when I say boundaries, our demographics of students and where they're attending and living will change. And as they do, we need to look at and adjust our school boundaries to accomplish that. I think this is the first step because whenever you can move boundaries to put kids back to the school that's closest to their home, it's kind of a unique thing. And I always joke that normally if we were talking school boundaries, this whole room would be packed with people screaming at you. But in this case, we're saying, hey, there's a school right close to you, and we think that should be your home school. And so I think that was why we didn't get a lot of parent pushback, because really we're saying, hey, you live in a community that has a school. We have small neighborhood schools, and your neighborhood has a school. That should be your boundary. Now, I hope we get to the point, and I would say Oprah Winfrey says it best if you throw it out there, so I'm throwing it out there again, when we have over 15,000 students in our district, that we have to adjust boundaries because we don't have capacity at our schools, and so we have to do it, and that will be great. I don't know if I hope to be around there. I have an 8 and 7-year-old, so I'm planning on being here for a long time if the board has me. But yeah, I think we should look at them every 10 years.
Charlotte.
Thank you, President. I was wanting to know one thing from what your statement was about the Thew-Shamley boundary area, that you're guaranteeing bus transportation for a year. Is that just a year, or until those kids that are currently there have aged out?
What we're proposing is that the students that want to stay, that are in that boundary, that are impacted at Shamley, we might have some students that say, no, I want to go to Connolly, but those students in middle school, that we would honor that transportation for them to finish out their middle school.
Finish out middle school, okay.
Yep.
All right, I wanted to thank you for the process, and I also really appreciate that the district has made it clear that we're not going to make any kids fill out new paperwork, because I know that's a nightmare for parents, so I really appreciate that. And I want to keep on reiterating, to me, this is just a bus boundary change, because everybody can go to where they want. We're just talking about transportation here. And for the transportation, I do have one question for Jess. Does this help alleviate some of the stress for your team?
Good evening. It's actually kind of a wash because we're just moving buses from one area
That's
to the
not the
next.
answer I wanted.
Sorry. Oh, let me try again. Yes.
Okay,
no.
great, yeah. No, I appreciate the truth.
Yeah.
So it's a wash for you?
It's pretty much a wash. Right?
Okay, all right. Well, we tried, so, thank you. That's it.
Well, to reiterate everyone else's sentiment, I think this is just good policy, especially with, as you say, with most boundary changes, you are, moving things around to move people further, and this is bringing people closer. I just think this makes more sense that way. So, with that in mind, do I have a motion to approve these? Do we have any? Can we just approve all of them at once? I think so. Do we have a motion to approve these boundary changes?
I'd like to make, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to approve all of the proposed school attendance boundary changes.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Charlotte, seconded by Monica. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Item 901, board information.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to thank everybody who came out this weekend to the 5K Heart, Love Your Heart event. It was awesome, and congratulations to Darren. He was a medal winner, and the weather was absolutely perfect. I think people had a really good time, and I'd just like to thank all of you who put it together for everyone, and I'd like to thank the mascots for coming out, because they had to get in the big suit and be in there for pretty much the whole couple hours. So kudos to everyone who walked, ran, skipped, jumped, or struttled into the finish line, including my family, and one of them was over 80. So he won first place in his category. I was so proud of him. A major prize he got. So thanks again for all of that. And I just want to say, if you are having to do what I'm having to do, which I think you probably are, and that is your taxes, it's really fun. But besides that, if you want to make it a little bit more fun, please consider us for the tax credit. And you can go online, you can call the school, or call the district office. You can check with your school and they'll help you. We try to make it as easy as possible. It's very, very helpful for our kids, and it helps go towards things that aren't necessarily funded directly through our programs. And I know it's helping out a lot of kiddos on the things that they're most interested in. So again, as you sit down and put all that stuff together, please consider us for that. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Charlotte.
Thank you, President Miller. I just wanted to give a shout out. I know Dr. Driscoll already highlighted them in the Celebrate Excellence, but Arredondo getting the A+ is just amazing. That's a beast of an application to fill out, and plus all the work that even qualifies you to get there. And I just really want them to know that we're all proud of them and excited to celebrate with them on March 8th.
I just wanted to quickly say, as a participant in Love Your Heart 5K, I finished 4th and did not medal. And, I am emotionally recovering, and I will persevere.
You're a winner anyways.
Moving on to 10:01, announcements, upcoming events. The Thai Foundation Golf Tournament will be held on Thursday, February 22nd, 2024 at 8 a.m. at the Arizona Grand Resort. There will be an agenda committee on Wednesday, February 28th at 11 a.m. The next regularly scheduled governing board meeting is Wednesday, March 6th at 7 p.m. in this room. The parent-teacher conferences will be held from March 5th through March 7th. All schools will follow the early release schedule. And finally, spring break is from March 11th through March 25th, 2024. All Tempe elementary schools will be closed. 11:01, meeting adjournment. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
I have a motion by Monica, seconded by Allison. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. We are adjourned.